Well, I hope this is working. I just got done with Evergreen Medical Clinic in Roseburg, Oregon. They absolutely refuse to do anything for my migraines, headaches. As a matter of fact, they even called the police and had me escorted out because they did not want to treat me like the emergency room yesterday did not want to treat me for my migraine headaches. My pain medication must be already starting to kick in. Doctors in Douglas County absolutely refuse, that I have seen, to treat people. But yet, just a year and a half ago, they had some guy here smoking pot and doing meth as well. But the problem is the news didn't do a good enough investigation to realize that this guy is selling his pot and selling his methadone that he's getting from the pharmacy and from the doctor because they're over-medicating him and he's selling it to survive on. But hey, here's a perfect example of medical marijuana patient. Yeah, right. I do not abuse. I use what is necessary. Yes, I'm a medical marijuana patient because the methadone that Dr. Glassman has put me on in 2005 and 2006 for a workman's comp injury did absolutely nothing but fried my brain. I am now a Looney Tune. I can't get proper medication to treat my extra anxiety. My chronic pain is so bad that I can't do nothing. Right now, I am suffering a bad migraine, but my medication is finally starting to kick in a little bit because I had to go on the street to get my Vicodin and my anxiety pill so that I can be normal and actually look at you and talk to you. Without it, I am doomed. But another big key is I need to have the marijuana. The Vicodin is to assist the marijuana because I cannot take hardcore medication like Vicodin, methadone, hydrocodone, any of that shit on a full prescription regular basis because it makes me crazy. Doctors do not want to listen. Nurse practitioners, nincompoops. PAs, they're just lonely little piss ants. They don't know fucking nothing. This is my body. I know what works. If the doctors can't do their job and provide what works for me to get me back to work, I'm sorry, taxpayers. They've been neglecting me since 3505. Liberty Northwest, OHP the first time, OHP now, the doctors, the nurses. Dr. Glassman quit treating me for my injury because I quit taking his methadone that fried my brain for 10 months. I still do not have my full mental capacity back years later after I took myself off of it. Once I took myself off it, Dr. Glassman refused to give me any more treatment. Then I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder several years later, or just a few months later. So I was putting on bipolar medication. I didn't have bipolar. I don't have bipolar at all. It's because of the fucking medication they want to give me. They don't want me to be medicated. They want me to be medicated physically, but it's over-medicating and frying my brain. They don't care. Nobody cares. Well, I'm done. I am asking for help. Does anybody have a lawyer out there? Because neglect and abuse is just plain pathetic. I mean, I go in begging for help, on my knees, pleading, and they call the cops on me? Please help me. Somebody help me with these migraines. I don't know what to do. I can't get nothing done in Douglas County, Roseburg, Oregon. They refuse to do anything. They think I'm a tweaker. They think I'm a pill popper. I'm sorry, but I even know a police officer that works for Douglas County that has literally went and bought methadone off of one of my old friends to give to his wife because his wife is a pill popping meth freak. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want the whole police county of Douglas County coming after me, but they probably already will. So if something happens to me, if I disappear, most likely it's the piece of shit cops around here that think they control everybody. Buy the drugs, do what I want, and you have to follow the rule. Well, sorry. You guys can't do your job. You work for me. I'm I'm sorry. I could be a taxpayer if the doctors would properly fix me and get me medicated so I can work. But they want to keep me down, doing nothing, flipping out on friends that I no longer have. And I am forced to this point to have to go on YouTube and put my face out to the world because a couple of doctors cannot do their job. I've seen 6 or 7 doctors. 3 doctors done something. One said I needed surgery. Liberty Northwest said no. So I didn't get my surgeries. Then I lost that. Got on OHP. Some bitch down here at Douglas County didn't change it in the address form when I called her. So because it didn't get changed, they made me something that didn't got returned to them. So I lost my OHP. Now that I got it again, it's even worse before. I had 2 other doctors that was helping me. One said that, yeah, you are disabled, and I'll fill out paperwork saying you're disabled. The others say you're disabled, but we won't fill out the paperwork because it's political. Political. Well, quit playing politics with my life. It's my life. Fix me. Or, is there a lawyer out there? Because I've got lawsuits on this entire county. And speaking of neglect and abuse, Governor Kitzhaber really don't give a shit about the elderly and disabled in this county or this state either. My friend made complaints because she used to be a caregiver and tried to get something done about some of these people that are being neglected and abused by the case managers down here, like Debbie Nunley and her boss. You should see some of these feces-infested homes that they are responsible for. These homes are not to be in that condition, and that is neglect of not only the case manager, but the care provider that's taking care of them. Plus, these homes are supposed to fit strict state guidelines. My friend, they come into her grandma's house, and they literally wanted her to sign the house over to her, even though it wasn't her house. That was the first thing they wanted done. Then they wanted to take and put, then they went through the entire house and inspected everything. Made sure the fire alarms worked. Made sure, oh, you need to get rid of that little cat. You need to get rid of that dog. Can't have nothing under her feet. But yet, these other places have 5, 6 cats, feces everywhere. They don't give a shit about them, but they're going to make her grandma follow strict guidelines and rules. I'm sorry, they need to be the same, and these government people need to quit putting their personal feelings into making their decisions and do their job for these people. Quit neglecting and abusing. What is wrong with Douglas County? I'm even embarrassed to call myself a Christian. My friend worked for Karen's Coffee Cup as a dishwasher. She was belittled, yelled at. She only worked there a couple days a week. But they told her that she was wasting 2 to 3 gallons of bleach every week. Well, the one that was doing it was a relative. But hey, my friend couldn't even say, hi, how you doing, without getting to a customer, without getting yelled at, get back to work. Or getting yelled at for something she had no control over. But yet, it's her fault. She gets yelled at. And these people call themselves Christians. Karen is so bad that she goes up to food. She'll do this and put it with her face and her ears and then grab people's food and take it to them. That is plain out filthy and disgusting. Now that I have access to a camera, I wish I had a portable one, because I would show everybody what the truth really is, because I am tired of sitting here doing what I'm supposed to do, follow the doctor's rules and regulations, try to get things done, find a doctor that'll do something, and then the clinic fires them because they're working with me. Dr. Aruna, she got kicked out of one clinic because she was working with me because she said I was disabled. There's another one from South River. She got fired because she was helping me with a little bit of pain medication to give me a breather every 3 or 4 days because I couldn't afford a full prescription to keep me going on what I needed to do because I had no money, no income. I can't work, I'm physically screwed up, but I got proper medication that balances my physical and mental problems. But they want me on such high medication that I'm a fucking nutcase. I apologize, I'm sorry for the language, but I'm fed up, and I'm in so much pain that these people just don't want to do nothing. And I have done everything they wanted to be fixed so I can get back to work. They will not fix me. Now they're all having a problem that I'm on pot. Well, I'm sorry. Pot is the only thing that doesn't flip me out, and it works better on the pain pills than 5 pain pills of 5-325 Vicodin. The reason I got these glasses on, by the way, is because the glare is so bad, even behind me, it sets my migraine off even more. So, and another thing is with somebody with a migraine, what's one of the first things you're supposed to do? Especially if they're going to the ER or the paramedics show up. Give them oxygen. They did absolutely nothing. But said, I can't do nothing for you. I don't know what to do. I got on my knees and begged, please find somebody that can do something for me. Help, I'm begging. What am I supposed to do? Just go crawl up in a corner and die? Well, I didn't say that, but I just don't know what to do. Well, please find somebody to do something. You know who showed up? Roseburg Police Department, showing up like big fucking bullies. Come on, Mr. Jones, you're leaving. Well, you know what? You're a bully. You have no right pushing your authority around. those police officers have also neglected and abused me by not giving me proper medical treatment because they followed a doctor's ruling that is neglectful and abusive, so that puts those police officers neglectful and abusive. Anybody, please, do you have a lawyer or access to a lawyer that I can get to do something? I have absolutely nothing. All I have is this motorhome. And right now it's worth maybe $4,000. It's going to take $4,000 to make it street legal. So, I mean, if I have to, I'll just send it over to somebody because I need a job. I can't get a job being this way. I need help. Fucking head. I think I take these off now. Now, as for the rest of my medication, I'm going to take some of that right now, too. You know, this is just plain ridiculous that I have to go on the streets to get my pills. Luckily, they funded me a couple of pain pills for the night. But you know what I'm going to end up having to do because I have no money? I'm going to have to pull my pants down and bend the fuck over for anybody that's got pain pills so I can be functioning, so I can work. Once I get to working, I can pay cash for them. But until I get to working, I can't do shit. My friend, they got railroaded out of health care because of Debbie Nunley and her little cohorts and bosses that don't want to do their job. She'd go into these homes trying to help these people, and the case manager would say, oh yeah, you can have this, you can do that, you can do this. And when it comes time to get paid, we didn't authorize nothing. My friend has a stack of books. You can't even see it. Let's see. Huge. This high. A fucking personal documentation of neglect and abuse, and I've got a bunch of pictures on my computer showing of those neglect and abuse homes. Now, if he really cares about this, then he will get rid of his minions, because his minions refuse to do anything because they called and talked to Debbie Nunley and her people. Oh, Tammy is so-and-so, and you're lying, and this person says that and that, and, well, they're not lying. Douglas County people down here are lying and calling my friend a liar because she cares about people. Now she can't caregive because they want to be neglectful and abusive. Oh, we're overworked. Well, you know what? You know why you're overworked? Because you stand 5 minutes talking about your kid's phone. Hey, my kid hit a home run last night. Oh, I can't wait until my vacation. I'm going on a vacation next week. I can't think. Oh, I got to do that paperwork. But you know what? I'm so happy about going on my vacation. I want to go share it with my friend over here and go spend 5 minutes over there talking to me, and guess what? You do that 3 times a day for 4-5 days. You're neglecting just an average number. I'd say 4 to 10 people a week by you, one person, not for the government, not doing their job for Social Security, care provider, or whatever. You spent 5 minutes over here bullshitting with this person. It's 15 minutes a day, 4 days a week. That's 2 hours a week you've wasted. And you know what? Every person that you should have been doing paperwork for has now been put off to the following weekend. That means 4 to 10 people have now been neglected 3 more days because you wanted to go bullshit about your kid's game. Well, my work policy is you work for the person that's paying you, because once they pay you for your time, you have no personal life. You work for them except for on your breaks. That's when you do personal talk. Meanwhile, government people, and I've seen this down here at the Douglas County Food Stamp Office, walk in there, and one guy's got his phone out showing his co-workers, 4 of them back there right behind the counter, showing, oh, look at my puppy, look at my puppy. And this woman is talking about her daughter's play. And the other is just standing around looking, oh yeah, how cute. And meanwhile, they stood there for 5 minutes doing nothing. That was a waste of my taxpayers' time. I'm sorry, I'm not a taxpayer. I wish I was, because nobody wants to fix me or get me properly medicated to work. But they are wasting taxpayers' money, which is being neglectful and abusive towards people like me that need their assistance now, not when they feel like doing my paperwork. And when they put their personal feelings into it, I have seen it, this person and this person, identical living situations, but because they like this person a little bit more, they will give them anything and everything and plus more. I've also seen at the food stamp office where people have come in and brought their families in. Somebody drives in a big, huge Ford 4-door pickup, $60,000, $70,000 truck, big wheels and all this, and they're coming in to get food stamps and cash assistance. I'm sorry, if your vehicle is worth more than $4,000, you have to sell it before you get food stamps. That's it. You got a home that's worth more than, as far as I'm concerned, $100,000, you need to sell it and buy a cheaper home before you get food stamps. Because that is money that is coming out of taxpayers' pockets, that are paying you to live in your rich home. And you know what? When I get back to work, I'm not going to have a nice home like you. And even if I did, you know what? Before I went back on food stamps, I would sell it, because that is money that is meant for you to live off of. And if you don't have an income, you need to sell it and live off of that until you have nothing left. Then you can have your Social Security. Then you can, oh, I'm sorry, not Social Security. That's another subject. Food stamps. Okay? And as far as Social Security, I know people around here that get $3,000 from the Navy retirement, $2,000 from this corporation retirement, and then they get $3,000, $3,500 for Social Security. Excuse me. They're living in multi-million-dollar homes, get a brand new vehicle every other year because of their disability. And they're living in these fucking nice mansions, 5, 6 bedroom homes, and there's one little old lady living in there. Excuse me, they need to sell those homes. And as far as I'm concerned, if they want to keep that home, and they're getting $3,000 from military benefits, and they're getting $2,500 from a corporation benefit, then why are they getting Social Security? Those people should not be getting their Social Security because they already have an income. Social Security is a supplemental income for those who do not have an income. Okay, those people have an income of $3,000 to $5,000 a month. They do not get Social Security. That is why I'm not allowed to have Social Security, and I fought it for 7 years. And all they can say is, you're capable of working. Well, if I'm so fucking capable of working, why ain't I fixed? That's because the doctors tell me I can't work, and they will not put it paper and document it because it's political. They don't want to be in a political argument. Well, I'm sorry. This is it. I'm taking control of my life, and as of right now, if I have to go on the streets to get my drugs from pill poppers that sell their drugs because doctors are over-medicating them, then that's what I'm going to have to do. And as far as I'm concerned, I am breaking no law, because the law does give me the legal right to practice medicine on myself. So if I need a prescription, by law, I have a right for that prescription. And just because most people that get on this shit are overdosed because the doctors are overdosing them or not giving enough or whatever, I have got the perfect men, almost perfect, put it this way. All the shit the doctor's done for me for the last 8 years has got me 20 to 30% physically and mentally working. I've just now come across a combination that actually works very well. A 5, 325 Vicodin, 2, maybe 3 times a day, depending on what I'm doing. My medical marijuana, a Flexerol, and my anxiety. I was up running around, jumping, walking the streets, so happy I was out walking, looking for work. Now that I ain't got no medication again, I'm down, I'm hurting, I go for help, and I get kicked out by the police. I mean, so much for emergency treatments. I mean, emergency room refuses to do anything. They say they don't treat chronic pain. That's fine. But why don't you treat the problem? Find the problem. They don't want to do that. They'd rather call the cops and kick me out. Because I accidentally said F once because my mind was getting all crazy because I'm hurting. Oh my God. Have you ever heard chronic pain syndrome, doctor? Yeah, ask the fucking psychiatrists. But you know something else? People are not really that smart. You may have a fucking degree, but you're not smart. I know a lot of people, in fact, a lot of quacks around here that say, oh, I know what I'm doing. But yet, you know what? I've done so much research in the medical marijuana and the medications that I have taken that I have found that most doctors prefer to have you on methadone so that they can make more money, they can fry your brain, and neglect and abuse you however they want. If they really wanted to treat people, they would treat people in a way that works for each individual person, not as a group. So yeah, sure, methadone works for this person, you don't flip out, nothing else. Methadone has fried my brain and it causes me to flip out. Pain medication causes me to flip out in heavy doses. But a little Vicodin or a little hydrocodone along with my marijuana, my Flexerol and anxiety and the ibuprofen, I'm a new man. Yeah, I still got some pain, but I want to keep myself with a little bit of pain. The doctors, they could only get me 20, maybe 30% to work capability. With marijuana and my pills, here in a few minutes, you're going to see me jumping around, doing just fine, because most of my pain is gone. I have been up to about 80% pain relief. I still have pain, but I want to keep that pain so I understand that I know I'm still hurting. I don't overdo myself and fuck up. There's people out there that's got Social Security. They're out there riding Social Security for back injuries. They're out there riding quads and hiking through mountains, hunting for deer, and drive off-road for 6 to 8 hours through pothole-ridden roads. Run chainsaws all day long, and these people get disability. See a guy walking down the street, oh, I'm so disabled, he's twirling his fucking cane, bebopping along. And you know what I'm told? I don't deserve a motherfucking thing. I mean, how pathetic is this? I can't even get out of Douglas County because I don't have the money to afford enough money to go somewhere to, I don't even know another town close to here that I can go stay and without being on the streets and have nothing. As it is, I stay a little here, a little there, streets, sometimes a friend. Right now I'm at a friend's grandma's home where my motorhome is parked, and I'm sitting here for the night because I still can't get my proper medication, and I think I'm going to have to go protest. But of course, they'll probably just call the cops on me and say I'm harassing them. So this is my last chance. I am begging for some doctors or some lawyers that can help me do this so that I can get my life back in order, so that I am not a burden on the taxpayer, which, as far as I'm concerned, these quacks in this town owe me pay from the day of my injury, starting with Dr. Thrall, going through, let's see, Dr. Glassman, Dr. Hoyne, I think he's a pissant at South River Russell. The only ones that ever did anything for me was McCree, and he was shut down by the insurance company, and the other two were fired because they were working with me and trying to get me back to work. So obviously these doctors around here don't want me working. So as far as I'm concerned, they owe me from the day I was terminated from Taco Bell because I was hurt on the job. Yep, I was terminated. I was hurt 3505. A couple weeks later, co-worker tripped me, hurt me again. Plus, Cassie, the area manager, also talked to my doctor without my permission. Well, supposedly they have that right. But I didn't give them permission, so as far as I'm concerned, they violated confidentiality rights. Not only did Taco Bell, but so did Dr. Thrall. And for that point, I know this is getting a little long, but I am begging. I mean, I've already got on my knees and begged doctors and nurses and people to help me, and all they do is call the cops on me. I guess if everybody out there wants to call the cops on me for begging for help because I can't afford $10,000 for a lawyer, because no lawyer wants to help me because I ain't got $10,000. And speaking of lawyers, when I did file a suit against Taco Bell for wrongful termination, I had 60 days to file a complaint. Or file a lawsuit. Okay, I sent $150 to 3 lawyers and $200 to another lawyer for them to evaluate. They took anywhere from 5 to 7 weeks to evaluate over that. 3 of them called me up and says, no, we can't take it. 4th one calls me up 4 days before the end of the month, before my 60 days were up, comes up and says, oh yeah, I'll take your case, and I have this 90% guarantee that I'll take your case for nothing. But the thing is you're only at 88%, so I need $10,000 up front. Yeah, so much for my lawsuit on Taco Bell for wrongful termination. There you go, another corporation that got away with breaking the law and harassing and abusing people like me because they know I don't have the money to sue their ass. Well, that's why I'm on here begging for help. Please, is there anybody out here that can do something for me, that is willing to talk to these doctors and make them do their job, get me treated? Is there somebody out there that will actually take my case as a doctor and help me get back to work so I can work so I'm not a burden on the taxpayer? I don't want to be like this. I'm tired of being like this. I've lost almost all my friends. My family really don't want nothing to do with me. What friends I do have left practically don't want nothing to do with me. I'm a fucking crazy. Yeah, I'm flapping a little bit now. I'll calm down. But I'm actually becoming normal. I'm actually feeling better. I'm actually working. Now, they're saying, oh, I'm a drug addict. Well, you know what? Let's see. It was like the 22nd, 24th of last month, of January, I quit smoking pot. I'd quit smoking cigarettes too. I quit smoking pot, had no painkillers, no Vicodin, no nothing. 2.5 weeks later, I called and begged for some painkillers because I was hurting and I was no longer taking pot. Then they cut me off my Flexerol and my anxiety medication, and that's it. And then my pain medication ran out a few days before my appointment, so I called to get them refilled. They said, oh, well, the only thing we'll give you right now is your hydroxyzine. Well, they denied that 2.5 weeks before, and I needed that. My Flexeril, I still haven't received that. And I ain't going to receive that because I fired his ass because they can't do nothing for me. For some reason, nobody can fix this pain. Is it migraines? Is it chronic pain from my back? Is it chronic stress because I'm thinking about I need money, I need money, I need money, I need money, I need help. Sorry, I'm shaking up the computer and the table. But I need to get this done. I need my life going, and I can't. Nobody wants to put up with me. Well, I can be physically working, but mentally, I'm a fucking flip. And people will say, Howard, and I go, what? What? What do you want? There's no reason for that, and I have no control over that. But now that I've got the medication that actually helps, and the right doses that actually does something, nobody cares to do it. They want me fried out on meth some more, and I am not going to do it. Somebody, I'm begging, help. Do something. Obama, help. You're putting in this health care. I'm not going to Kids Harper because he don't give a shit about the elderly and disabled in this state. I mean, and if he does, then he must be as blind and as stupid as Chris Christie, not knowing what his minions are doing. And if he don't know what his minions are doing, then he better get to looking into it, because people in this state are being neglected and abused regularly by the people in this county. And obviously, from what I see, his minions that work for him. They're making decisions that they have no legal right making, because it is his job to make the decisions as governor, not them to say, oh, we'll decide if we do something or not. He sees the information. And another thing is, when a letter is sent to Kids Harper, you have no legal right opening that. That is a felony, and you are to be thrown in jail. And one more thing before I go. Yeah, it's a long bit. Should be a couple more minutes. I'll be done. But one thing I have seen around here in Douglas County, it's okay for the doctors to shove as much methadone down you as they want. You want more, they'll give you more. Give it to you. Just give it to you. Give it to you. Just hand it to you. All you want. But if you mention pot, they cut you off. If you want off of the methadone, they won't do nothing except stop treating you. That's all I see. People are neglected. I see lots of people neglected around here. I've seen people go into the emergency room down here 3 times because they can't, because the doctors and PAs that they have working in this emergency room don't know how to diagnose a sick kid. And the kid sounded like he was dying. My friend ended up in the hospital because they sent her, oh, well, you're not that bad. We'll just send you with a little bit of this antibiotic and an inhaler. Well, you know what? She ended up back in the emergency room and checked into the hospital for 4 days because they're incompetent down here. They don't care. And as far as I'm concerned, if these doctors are following Mercy policy, Mercy Hospital policy, and as far as I'm concerned, then Mercy Hospital is responsible for the neglect and abuse on me and these other people that these doctors and nurses in there are not treating. And I'm sorry, there's a couple more things. Another quick thing. When you go into an emergency room, you look around, you see dirt and stuff on the floor, you see sick kids wiping stuff and everything, and you can sit in there for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours and not see a single person come in and clean. What is the #1 thing in health prevention? Cleanliness. As far as I'm concerned, you're in an emergency room and you're sitting behind that desk, check people in, and there's nobody to check in, you need to grab a rag with some bleach water and go out there and wash door handles, door frames, chair handles, chair seats, everything that has something. You need to wipe the doors, windows, everything, including the counter where you work. You need to do that continuously, not let some maid come in once a day and clean it. That is healthcare prevention. If you're not doing anything, get your ass out with a rag and prevent disease. Now, as far as, oh, I forgot where I was. Wrongful termination. My medications are really kicking in, so I'm starting to calm down and feel much better. Still hurting. My migraine's just about gone. And you can say, oh, my migraine's attached to this pill or that pill or pot. But you know what? There's people out there that are frying themselves on meth because that's all doctors will give them and they want to be pain-free. Well, I want to be pain-free, but I also want to function so I can work. I just want to be a normal, everyday Joe. But I can't do that with incompetency. And I mean, all I have to do is look on the internet. I've done years of research on the internet about chronic pain and this and that and the other. A lot of it's in my head because when you get chronic pain, it starts playing with your mind and starts stressing you out like money. I have no money, so I'm screwed because I can't do nothing. If I had the money, I guarantee the doctors would be doing their job and giving me everything I fucking want because they know I can sue their ass. Well, I don't have the money, but is there a lawyer out there that can help me? And I did get off on another rant, but I promised you I'd be done, so if I remember what it is, you'll see me again. Thank you. I hope you all have a very good day, and please make sure your doctors are treating you as an individual person, not as a group, because if they treat you as a group, you might be one of those that have the side effects that kill you. Because medications, they help some, they kill others, they do nothing for others. And until doctors realize and do actual research on the internet and know what the fuck they're doing, because they ain't learning nothing from the classes, obviously, because the doctors around here don't even know how to treat a migraine. First thing you do with a migraine is give them oxygen, right? No, I don't know what to do. I'm stupid. I'm sorry, that's the quacks in Douglas County. And the police departments, they're just as much as big criminals. They walk around like bullies, throwing their weight around. Yeah, I was riding with a friend. They drive an older car. There's a couple spots that were rusted, but I fixed those with some paint for her so that it didn't look so rusted. But it's not a brand new car. 3 cars go flying past us at 45 miles an hour in a 30. We're doing 35. He pulls us over saying we're doing 37. Oh, it don't matter, I caught you. But yet at the same time he tagged us, they were flying by. So you don't tell me that's not discrimination. He was pulling us over thinking that we're a bunch of drug addicts so he can search our car and harass us for fucking drugs. Well, I'm sorry, cops, but you need a reality check. A lot of these drug dealers that you want to bust are driving these new vehicles. They've got these big boats. And another thing is, yeah, so what? A lot of you say, we're not drug dealers, I got this stuff. Yeah, you got that stuff, but you know what? How much do you actually sit on your ass? How much work do you actually do? I mean, I've used to flag with Quest, sitting there. Oh, we get out there, we set up the signs, go to work. They work for an hour, hour and a half. Oh, we got to go back to get parts. We'll be back in an hour. Then they get back. Then they take a lunch. Then they sleep for an hour, hour and a half. Then they go back to work for an hour, hour and a half, and then call it the day by 3:30, 4 o'clock. I mean, the entire day between drive time, the actual work was maybe 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Then they spent 2.5 to 3 hours just for lunch and a nap. So, I'm sorry, but that's a waste of taxpayers' money, and the government does the same thing. They bitch because they don't make enough pay, but yet half the time they ain't doing a motherfucking thing. And the ones that aren't doing it. So, as far as I'm concerned, a person that works in a fast food restaurant should be making $15 to $20 an hour because not only are they using their minds to work to make sure orders are correct and please the customer, but they are physically standing, moving, motivating, prepping. They are physically and mentally working. They should get the big pay. These people that sit behind a desk, oh, I'm overworked. They don't have to hardly ever deal with customers, except once in a while a case client. Yeah, they sit there and, oh, I'm overworked and not enough pay. Yeah, you go around and get bullshit and talk. Well, you're bullshitting with people instead of doing your job. My policy is taxpayers pay, taxpayers time, personal time is for breaks. Not long breaks, standard breaks. And as far as I'm concerned, you work for the government. When I start making money again, I have a legal right to fire any government worker that is incompetent and can't do their job because the government works for me, the individual taxpayer, not the government worker. And if you only work in the office from 9 to 5 or part-time, it don't matter. You work for the government. Your word does not matter. You do not make the decisions. I make the decisions. You making the good pay? That's a bunch of rip-off. You people need to cough up some of your money, especially these rich motherfucking CEOs that are hoarding. Donald Trump, you're the biggest fucking hoarder in the world. You sit there on your high and mighty chair with billions of dollars while there's people in this fucking country starving, homeless, and the reason why a lot of people are on drugs is because they have no money to go out and enjoy themselves because it's $20 for me and my girlfriend to get high or $20 for me to go do something. What is it? Well, I want to do something with my girlfriend, so I guess I'm going to get high. And another thing is people think that pot is a gateway to harder drugs. Sorry, pot got me off of harder drugs many, many years ago, and then I quit doing that and went back to drinking. But you know what the gateway to hard drugs were, which was coke, meth, and acid? Beer. Budweiser. They are the ones that gave me the gateway to harder drugs. I had access to pot. I didn't touch that. I wanted the higher drugs, because if what alcohol already gave me, then I want the fucking good stuff up here. I want the hard drugs. Give me the hard drugs. You know, I did that very little, and I was done with it, because it's not me. I'm a responsible human being, and I'm tired of being belittled and treated like I'm a little pissant. No, the pissants are the ones that don't want to do their jobs. And as far as I'm concerned, get out if you don't do your job. You know, Stephen Hawkins has it right. But you know what? It's fucked up that you people do this. If you don't like your job, don't quit it. Just do it half-assed, the American way. Well, to me, the American way is you do your job, you take care of the people in this country, and you help other countries. We can't even help ourselves, so how can we help another country? People in this country starving, homeless. Kids can't even get a proper education. Teachers throwing meals away because the kids' parents don't have the 50 cents for the meal. That's because all the money we borrow from China and all these other countries are just being handed to Donald Trump, and these CEOs are raking in billions of dollars every year. They rake up the money. They rake up the money. Hey, board, I want another $5 million in my pocket this year, so let's hike the prices and get some more money out of these low-life taxpayers. These people that can't afford nothing, let's take some more money from them. Well, China's going to come calling for our national debt. You know what's going to happen? All these CEOs and Donald Trump's going to say, yeah, we'll bail the country out. We got the money to cover it. But guess what? We own the country. We do what you do what I say, not what you want. I own the country. We own the country. We'll do what we want. So now you work for us. No. We need to put a stop to this gouging, and we need to put a stop to this hoarding. As far as I'm concerned, if you've got an employee, Taco Bell, McDonald's, Jack in the Box, and they're making minimum wage, and your CEO just rakes in $6, $7, $8 million plus, who knows how much. I don't know exact numbers, but even raking in $1 million, I understand $1 million. Anything over that is just plain fucking greed, and you're ripping not only the taxpayer off, but you're ripping your employees off by not even giving them proper health care. If you can't afford health care and minimum wage for your employees, then what are you doing in business? Oh, that's right. Make money for the stockholders and put more money in my pocket. Well, you know what? Who pays for it? Little people like me. And I'm continuing to pay for it with no treatment, no nothing, because doctors don't want to do nothing because it's politics. Well, we got a doctor for a fucking governor. See what they really think about health care? See what they really give a shit about the elderly and disabled? Yeah, he put this through just to make himself look good for Oregon healthcare. Do you know what? It's worthless. So, I should be working right now. I should be physically capable of going out and working. And, oh, by the way, my migraine's gone. I can move. I'm going to get another pain day that I'm really bad, and I'll videotape it and make sure you all get to see what I go through sometimes on these migraines. I'm sure you've seen other people in migraines and the things that they do, walking around holding their head, moaning, groaning, crying, whatever. Yeah, it fucking hurts. And nobody wants to treat. Nobody wants to do nothing. They think I'm a pill pop and tweak. Well, I am not. I'm an honest, hard-working person. The only thing I am doing legal now is buying my Vicodin off the street. Otherwise, being a medical marijuana patient is legal. In fact, it does more for me than any meth pill can. Oh, that's right, my subject was on methadone. Doctors around here will shove methadone down your throat. It's okay to fire. Or to fry your brain on meth and fry your body on meth, but it's not okay to do medical marijuana? I'm sorry. You show me one thing about medical marijuana that kills. One thing. Maybe a little lung congestion from smoking it, but see, that's why you use a vaporizer. Or in lots of times, my case, eat little goodies. It makes a big difference. Hey, I'm doing what I need to do, and I'm doing what I need to do to get myself back to work. I'll be giving everybody an update. I may not get a lawsuit. I may not get no help from anybody out there, but you know what? At least everybody knows that I'm standing here, sitting here, letting you know what's going on, and that I am taking steps to improve myself, even though the healthcare and the doctors do not want to do it. So, frying people's minds on meth is okay, but medical marijuana that does good for people is not okay. I'm sorry, it helps prevent cancer. I shouldn't say prevent cancer. Slow or stop cancer. People, if you don't know anything about Sanjay Gupta on CNN, take a look at him and his medical marijuana shows. I think he's got 2 or 3 of them. He was 110% against marijuana for any kind of medical treatment at all. You know what that medical treatment ended up being for some little kids? You'll be surprised when you see it, but I'll give you a little idea. There was this one kid, she was, I think, 5 or 6, maybe 7. She was having seizures 300 plus times a day. And it was virtually non-stop seizure. Maybe it was 300 a week. But still, 300 a week seizures is way too much. Tons and tons and tons of pills. Big table full of pills. None of them helping. None of them helping. These people contacted people in Colorado and got together with them. And they come up with a strain of medicine that they were able to give this kid that did not give him high, but yet give him the cannabinoids, I can't even speak now, of what they needed to help stop those seizures. You know how many seizures that kid has now? Maybe 3 a week. So, hey, if you're telling me marijuana is a killer and does nothing, you need to do a lot of research. Because marijuana, as far as I'm concerned, is practically the #1 cure. I mean, it does all sorts of stuff. It helps with anxiety. It helps with depression. Yeah, it creates a little memory loss. But is what a little short-term memory loss worth not being in miserable, chronic pain and yet being able to work? I'd rather forget something for a few minutes than to not be able to work and be miserable and hurt. And being on pain medications on heavy doses, it just makes me a nutcase, and people get abused and offended because I'm yelling at them and treating them like a piece of shit, and I don't know I'm doing it because my brain's gone. It's so high on medications, pharmaceutical medications, that I don't know. Oh, and one other thing I was going to go to. Methadone. Methadone is an illegal drug like federally marijuana is. So, any doctor, any nurse practitioner, any physician, any nurse, any hospital, any clinic, any pharmaceutical manufacturer, any pharmacy in this country that sells, manufactures, or distributes methadone is committing felonies. You don't like marijuana? Well, I don't like methadone. So if I'm committing a felony, you are committing a felony. And as far as I'm concerned, you all need to be arrested. Because using methadone for painkiller is the stupidest thing in the world. I'm a good example of it. My brain fucking fried. Thank you, Dr. Glassman. Thank you, Douglas County, for your health care. Neglect and abuse. Neglect and abuse. Goodbye.